This overload. This overload. Won't you help me, girl? This overload. Won't you help me, girl? This overload. Won't you help me, girl? This overload. This overload.
Welcome to Technically Speaking, the show for the technically challenged. I'm Stephanie, and today we're talking about one of the times in your life you may find yourself in front of a computer way more often than you would like to, and that is during the college application process. Now, if you've been through college yourself, and you're around my age, probably back then college applications involved lots of writing on pieces of paper. But things are totally different nowadays, and it's completely computerized. There are good points about that. There are bad points about that, especially if you're kind of a technophobe. So we're going to try to demystify the entire college application process. And who better to join me as we talk about colleges than a high school senior in the midst of the college application process? Well, fortunately, on my way to the studio, I happened to trip over one in the hallway. So joining me today is my son and high school senior, JK Larkin. Nice to have you.
Thanks for having me, Mom.
And thanks for being in the hallway while I tripped over you coming here.
You're very welcome.
So we're talking about applying to colleges, and I know it's a subject that you just love talking about.
Very much so,
Yeah, well, back when you were, I don't know, a freshman and a sophomore, all you wanted to talk about is, I can't wait till it's time to go to college. And now, what was that threat you gave me about mentioning the word college?
Oh, well, we could always put a jar on our mantelpiece where wherever you say college inside the house, you're putting $1 into it.
Yeah, well, hopefully if we did that, all that money would go to pay for all this college afterwards.
We'd have a lot of money for that.
So I know college, the whole application process gets a little tense. But I also know that there's some light at the end of the tunnel. I mean, your sister's a college freshman now, so we did survive. We have some tips to share with our viewers, and we will survive again with you.
We can only hope so.
Well, I figured we would divide this up into two main areas. The first being researching different colleges, figuring out what it is that you want to do, and then the second being the actual application process. So I have up here some ways of getting the research started. Now, there are the approved websites, which I have up here. Approved meaning that the colleges themselves have put the information here, and we're going to get to the more unofficial ones second. So, any of these look a little bit familiar to you?
Oh, I've used both of these a lot over the past couple weeks.
Oh, sorry about that.
Yeah, so am I.
The first one that's listed here, the collegeboard.org. Now, that's researching colleges, but that's also where you register for the SAT exam. So we were actually on that one way back last year in registering for your SAT. And that's also where we go to click in and tell them to send the SAT grades to other schools and such. One little tip I'm going to mention to our viewers: when your son or daughter is a junior and we're starting this process, one of the first things you're going to do, and I know this is a very low-tech thing to say, is to get a notebook and write down the password to all of these sites, because every single site is going to ask you for a password. Create an account, blah, blah, blah. You don't want it just on a Post-it that fell off the computer screen. Have a notebook. So that's what we have, is an actual notebook with all of our usernames and passwords, because it only gets worse. So that's the College Board. What is this Naviance thing?
Well, Naviance is a website that my high school happened to, make us all accounts for. And it seems like whenever I go on it, there's a column where there's different criteria. And you could search for different colleges using different criteria, like what you want to major in, whether you want a big school or a small school, someplace near you or far away from you. And they narrow it down for you. And then you could look at colleges more individually, more precise. You could see how you're doing academically in means of getting into the college.
Oh, okay. So
and
if your
different clubs and
grades kind of
Yeah,
Add
like
up.
if you can get into the college, and if you can, then great, then you put it on your list. If you can't, then no hard feelings, better to find out now than next March.
Yes, let's not wait until the letter comes in the mail. Like JK mentioned, Naviance is actually a paid service, but most high schools I know actually pay the fee so that all of their high school seniors can go into it. I'm going to open up Naviance first here. And I know there's a sign in button, and I know that we have an account. So I'm hoping that our computer remembers our account. In fact, I think I already have it open on a tab. Let's see. Student and family sign in. Okay.
Sounds like us.
Your post office code for your school. Do you know that?
Is that zip code?
Yes.
11501.
Okay. And there's
There we
your high
go.
school, and there's our login information. Okay, let me just make this a little bit bigger. The welcome message. I'm sure we really don't want to read that.
That's a long welcome message.
Okay, I'm going to click here on colleges. Colleges I'm thinking about and colleges I'm applying to. Naviance also gets used not just by the students and families to do some research, but the guidance departments themselves will use this to coordinate letters of recommendation, your transcripts, things like that, to send them out to the colleges. But it is a good idea for us to do a super match. If we were just starting to think about colleges, we would come in here and do a super match. And let's pretend you want to major in something. What would you like to pretend we're majoring in?
Let's go with toy design.
Toy design.
Toy design.
Okay, you know that there's really not a lot of money in toy design.
Don't judge me, toy design, it could work.
You're going to build Legos or something?
Legos are a toy, I could
Let's
always go with that.
see. We're going to get a bachelor's degree in toys. Oh my goodness, look at all these colleges that actually have toys.
Toys.
Okay, I'm going to narrow down because I see a huge list of colleges here, everything from New Jersey to Montana. So I could narrow it down by location. Where would you like to go to school?
Let's keep it in the Northeast.
Northeast, thank you. So you can make your toys and bring them to me to see. I don't want
There
you
we
too
go,
far
yeah.
away. So far we checked off Northeast as our location, and we checked off our major was toys.
Yes.
And look at all these options of places you can major in toys. This is truly frightening, and I hope he's not getting the right idea here. Okay, my scores. Oh, we get to put in what your average scores are going to be. You know what? I'm just going to put that you have, I'm putting it right here in the middle.
Okay.
I'm figuring, oh, look at that. It changed some of our options. I don't know if it made some that we couldn't get into any longer, but like you said, better we find out now than next March. Tuition and fees, we can even decide how much we want to pay. 0 sounds really good to
I
me.
would love 0.
Are there any things that have 0, or do I have to pay at least a little bit?
Put it up to 25,
I'm going to go
right in the
middle
middle,
of the road
right in the
here.
middle.
Okay. Oh, it changed our list yet again. Now Castleton University in Vermont is the first one. And we have all sorts of options here. Ethnicity, school type, school size, if you want to live on campus, gender mix, if you want more girls or boys or things like that. And we could start looking at all these colleges. This is a great way to narrow down the field. And once you have, let's say, between 5 and 10 colleges that look okay, maybe start to look at their actual websites. But I'm going to click on Castleton University here, just because I've never actually heard of it.
Neither have I.
What the heck? And what are they going to tell us? They're going to have a cute little video here all about it. They're going to give us all the statistics about it, how many students go there, visit the website, everything we need to know about Castleton and toys. Now, these are the official sites, as I mentioned. I'm just going to come back here to where we were talking about the official sites and also then going to the college website itself. But there were also unofficial sites. Now, unofficial sites means places where people will put what they really thought of a school. Did they like it? Was the food terrible? Were the beds hard? All the things you really, really want to know about a school. I have here collegeconfidential.com, studentsreview.com, and colleges.niche.com. This is kind of like when you look up things on Yelp or read the reviews on Amazon. Nothing that the colleges really want on their websites, but probably the stuff you really want to know. So if I went to one of these, like College Confidential, for example, let's open that. The world's largest college forum. And I can just search for something. A question, a college, give it a question. What do you think I should say?
Search for what college offers the best toy design degree.
Toy design degree.
I'm really sticking with this toy
You
design.
really want that toy degree. Look at this. Okay, so we have the word degree, we have the word design. Career is in toy design. Here's somebody.
Let's go for it.
All right, let's see this whole thing about career. Are there grad toy design programs and other ways to break into toy design? So this person posted it, and lots of other people answered the question. Otis College of Art and Design, and they mentioned getting an internship at Hasbro. This is where you'd find out the real ins and outs. JK and I were actually on this site a few weeks ago and found out which schools had the best food. Of course, not which schools tell you have the best food.
Yeah.
But which schools really had the best food. Which schools had the prettiest girls.
I like that one.
Oh, yes. Well, they also tell you, which was interesting, what the ratio is between girls and boys at the school. I noticed you were veering towards the ones that had like an 80-20 ratio, so that it would stack the deck in your favor.
I like that.
They were also very honest about the dorming situation, how hard the classes were. You could look up the teachers in advance. So it's a good thing to look at the actual college statistics, but these other ones as well. One other site I wanted to take a quick look at, the niche college one. Let me look up, give me a college here on Long Island.
Adelphi.
Adelphi University.
I wonder if they offer toy design.
I don't know if they offer toy design, but I have here how much their tuition is, their acceptance rate, 68%, how many undergraduates there are, things that I don't know it would be so easy to find. The tuition should be on the website, but they're certainly not going to tell you the acceptance rate. Now, of all these categories here, academics, administration, athletics, campus food, they got a C. Let's check that one out.
I need some good food for college.
Okay, and here are some reviews about the food. The price is extremely high for food. The food is okay, as long as you just want a drink in a candy bar. There are not too many options for a vegetarian. You know, if you were a foodie, this could be important. So this is the stuff with all of these different options and things that probably a student or even a parent really wants to know, whereas the websites are telling you the more generic stuff. So we're going to narrow down our search and then start applying to colleges. So next up, we're going to look at, after we've narrowed down our search and figured out where we're going, how to get in. Welcome to Technically Speaking. I'm sitting here with my son and high school senior, JK Larkin, talking about the college application process. Welcome back.
Thanks, Mom.
Well, we were discussing how to research different colleges so that we can get up to the big moment of truth, the actual applications for college. I know. It's bad enough to research them, to go on tours and do all that other stuff, but now we have to actually apply, write things, and worse for me, pay for it all. So just remember, all you have to do is write and things like that, and it's much worse for me. Now, I have up here a couple of things we need for applying to colleges. Lots of colleges are now on something called the Common App. It's one application, and it gets sent out to a multitude of colleges. Additionally, colleges often have on their websites their own individual applications. Now, I just wanted to mention to our viewers why the difference and what the benefits of one over the other might be. Now, for one thing, I did look this up to make sure I was going to be truthful. Colleges are not allowed to prioritize students who use their own application. When they agree to use the Common App, they actually have to sign off on the fact that all students will be judged equally. So sometimes someone might say, well, do the colleges like me better if I use their own application? Technically, they are not allowed to do that. So then it becomes well, I guess I should use the Common App. It's a little bit easier. And it is easier. You get to fill in all that information once, and it gets sent to a bunch of schools. I'm just going to hit on a couple of downsides to the Common App. One of the downsides to the Common App, in my view, having been through this with a college student already, is that it is so easy. And when things are that easy, then it becomes very easy to just keep doing it over and over and over. I mentioned this as your sister, who I thought was applying to 6 colleges, and I think she actually applied to 12. Because it was on the Common App, and it was like, oh, you know what? I was thinking about that one. Click, done. Now, what you might say, well, that's good. I'm glad it was easy for her. She didn't have to fill it all out. But the Common App, once you start filling it out, actually has my credit card number saved in there. Now, every college application, even though it's on the Common App, will cost between $50 and $100 per application. So every time my darling daughter hit to apply to another school, my credit card got hit by another $50 to $100. So while it's easier on the Common App, there's also that downside of making sure you don't get too trigger happy. It's kind of like being on Amazon.com. It's just too easy to buy things. The other thing I wanted to mention, because now that we're up to the part with you that we're actually looking at applying, there are differences between the Common App and those individual colleges. One that I'm going to mention is that the individual colleges might have an open-ended essay. They may say, write an essay about anything you want. Or they might have certain prompts that they want to hear from you. The Common App has 5 prompts for the essay. So you have to choose one of those 5 essay topics. As I mentioned, your college has agreed to accept them, but depending upon what you wanted to write about, you might not want to write about one of those 5 things. If you wanted to write about an experience that you had in Hawaii and that wasn't one of your 5 choices, well, then you might be better off on the regular college application, not on the Common App. So I just wanted to mention that to our viewers. The Common App is easy. It's quicker. It is absolutely a time saver. It may, depending upon your child, be a money waster. And if it doesn't align with your views as far as the essay process, you have to be aware of that. But we are going to look at the Common App right now. We're not going to go into every single individual college. But I do want you to be aware that you might want to check both just to make sure. So when I go to the Common App here, I logged in. The very first thing that you did when you went to the Common App is you made an account. So we have an account here, and we have a list of colleges. Some of these colleges might get applied to. Some of them might fall off the wayside. We might add more. But just for starters, just to show our viewers what we're looking at here on these colleges. For each one, they mention whether or not there is a writing requirement. Now, I see that all colleges have some sort of a writing requirement for at least one essay, and we can see here that some of them have multiple essays, or at least statements that they want. They're going to list their deadlines. Only one of the colleges has a deadline so far. I'm guessing as time goes on, more and more will have them. They have a little dot here, whether or not you've started the application, and I'm guessing that at some point it would end up as a green check mark when you've completed the application, and if you've completed the writing supplement. Now, there are parts on the Common App that you're going to fill out, like your name and your address and all of these things, and it's great to have to do it just once. Who wants to type your address over and over and over? The Common App also is going to ask you things like what clubs you've belonged to over the past 4 years in school, what courses you've taken. You really don't want to be typing that multiple times. So I get the whole point of the Common App. I just wanted to mention some possible downsides because it's always important to look at things with both sides. So once we've typed in all that information, and look at this, profile, family, education, what tests you've taken, what activities, how far have you come with this so far?
So far, I've filled out, most of the profile, most of the family, education, testing. I didn't want to, dive right into it without the help of you and Dad.
And how many hours have you already invested in
Only
this?
like a half an hour.
Oh,
It really
not so
is not
bad.
that bad.
Not so bad.
It's pretty
Good-
quick to fill out.
Good to hear it. Good to hear it. One other thing I'm going to mention about the Common App. It's so easy that sometimes it's also easy to let things slide. I wish I would have known when your sister was in the throes of this about this dashboard and making sure that everything was done. As it turns out, unfortunately this was not a college she cared about, but she was actually rejected from a college for something not going out in a timely manner, when I think we thought the app was just sending it out automatically. So no matter how wonderful computers are, it's still very important to keep tabs on everything. JK and I actually have folders for every college we're thinking
Yeah.
about, lists and things. Make sure you follow up with guidance counselors. Computers are great, but I think I made the mistake last year doing this with your sister of assuming that the computer was following through instead of doing the follow through myself. So I think that that's something that you and I will be better at this year.
I really hope so.
I have no doubt that we're going to improve. While we're here on the Common App, there's also a college search, almost like Naviance. So we can search for a particular college to add it to our dashboard. They have a list of the colleges you've already looked for. So if we wanted to add, we were just talking about Adelphi, they can do a search for us, and there it is. All the contact information, the application deadlines are right there, what days everything has to be in, how much the application costs, all the essays you need to write. You might sit here and say, yeah, not happening immediately, or we can add that to your college list. So I see that you've been diving right in already. One other thing I wanted to point out besides the Common App and the little dashboard, which I think is so important, is going back to College Board. We were talking about College Board back when we were researching having to do with your SAT scores. Now, I don't know if you realize this, but when you take the SAT exam, it actually gets sent to the colleges. Now, again, being the first time I did it last year, I don't know how I thought they were going to know which colleges to send to, so they never sent them. We actually have to go in here. If you look here on the screen where it says the SAT, and I'm going to slide down to where it says SAT scores, requested recipients. That's the place where I tell them, mail your scores. Yeah, I forgot to do that last time. It's kind of hidden way down there on the bottom. So we started getting nasty emails from colleges saying we have yet to receive your SAT scores, and I thought, well, she took it 3 months ago, for goodness sakes. You live and you learn. This is what I'm hoping that you won't have to live and learn through. You'll get it right the first time. Which brings me one other tip I have, and maybe you'll be a little bit better than your older sibling about this. You're going to find that there's lots of places that you need to put an email address in. And technically, they want the student's email address. And I get that. He's, a high school senior. He should be able to do this all by himself and put down his email address. Now, I don't know how many of you know a high school senior personally, but I'm going to ask a tricky question here. How often do you check your email?
Now, unlike many other high school seniors, I do happen to actually check my email.
Really?
I am one of the very few children who actually has an email and checks it and makes sure that it's thorough and everything.
Okay, so you know that most teenagers
definitely don't.
do not
Most
check
of my
their
friends don't
email.
even have an email address of their own, and that's a huge problem.
And even if they do they check it?
Probably not.
They never check it. And this became a problem when emails were coming and the email gets sent to the student. The student doesn't check the email. So as a parent, I will simply appeal to you that either lie and put a parent's email address down, or hound the student, or get the password yourself and check yourself. it happens.
Yeah.
I'm glad to see that you get it. Now, let's be honest, email nowadays, we can have it go beep and your phone and you'll get it, but I know teenagers. They don't check. Maybe one day, a year from now or 2 years from now, I'll be doing the same show and they won't email you. They'll text you.
Oh, I love that.
And then you'd
I
answer.
love that.
Or better yet, if they Snapchatted you,
Yeah.
would you answer? But I know email to a teenager seems incredibly antiquated and low tech. So you do need to answer these emails. If we're going to spend time and do all these things, you have to promise to answer. Okay? So let's go back and go through our steps so that people can make sure they have different links. First thing you're going to do when you're looking for a college is try to find a college. Now, you could find one by, I don't know, randomly driving past one on the street. But some of these websites that we looked at, the collegeboard.org and Naviance, which most high schools now have, will be able to narrow down the search for you, even if you've decided you want to design toys. Toys?
I like toys.
Majoring in toys?
I have some good ideas.
I'm sure you have great ideas. I'm thinking job security might be a little loose, but
Hasbro always has internships.
and it does sound like a fun major. So whatever it is that your student wants to major in, you can narrow down the field on these sites. Now, once the field is narrowed down, I would recommend coming to one of these unofficial sites where you can get the real inside story. So not only do they offer a major in toys, but is the food good? Are there girls? I'm thinking there's not a lot of girls majoring in toys. Maybe that's sexist. I won't say that. You know what? I think after the show we're going to do some research and see if there are girls at these schools majoring in toys. And then, after we've done all of our research, we're going to come on over here to the Common App so that JK can apply to the school of his choice, filled with toys, girls, and good food. Any other criteria you have for us?
Girls, toys, food, and somewhere
In the
near
Northeast.
you.
So that you can come home for holidays and I can do your laundry.
Yeah, sounds great.
Well, it sounds like we have a plan in set. So, good luck with your college search, good luck with these sites, and good luck with your teenager and their toy major. Thanks for joining us.